I'm sure you've heard of the fizzy flavoured tea known as kombucha, which blew up on our shelves a few years ago. Let's talk about what kombucha is. My name is Elle and I'm a specialist dietitian. In this video, we will see if kombucha really does deserve its name of tea of immortality. Kombucha is made using sugar, water and black or green tea. And kombucha is made by fermenting sweetened tea with a SCOBY. A SCOBY, which stands for symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, is a thick, rubbery thing that aids the fermentation process, which is a chemical process where a carbohydrate like sugar turns into alcohol or acid. Kombucha is produced when a SCOBY is added into sweetened tea and left to ferment for a couple of weeks. The bacteria and yeast that the SCOBY provides breaks down the sugars, converting them into alcohol, carbon dioxide and acid, which is what gives the kombucha its fizz and acidic sweet taste. The addition of the SCOBY and this fermentation process leaves kombucha with probiotic bacteria. Probiotics are the beneficial or friendly bacteria found within our digestive tract. They are associated with health benefits and often are added to different food products. Improving digestion is one of the main functions of probiotics, but there are associations with our microbiome, so the collection of probiotic bacteria that we have in our gut, with our weight, our mental health, and our immunity. The most widely investigated probiotics, and ones for which health benefits have been well established, are within the lactobacillus and bifidobacterium species, which are commonly added to yogurt and fermented drinks. Studies have associated yogurt-rich diets with lower quantities of weight gain over long-term periods, as well as with a reduced risk of metabolic-related diseases. Probiotics are also commonly recommended for those who suffer with digestive conditions such as IBS. They have been seen to reduce the frequency of diarrhea, help to regularize bowel movements, and improve symptoms like bloating. However, no strain or dose of probiotic has consistently proven to be effective to improve IBS symptoms, and so it is important to recognize that they don't always work for everyone. Probiotics may improve our mental health too. Ever heard of the gut-brain connection? Well, the health of our gut microbiome is often linked with our mental health, and a review of 13 studies found that lactobacillus and bifidobacterium probiotic supplementation may improve anxiety and depression in humans. Another more recent study found that probiotics, both in conjunction with antidepressants or as an intervention on their own, have a beneficial role in reducing symptoms of depression. Whilst kombucha does contain probiotic bacteria, the type and quantity will vary among different brands. Interestingly, each SCOBY contains a different combination and strains of bacteria, which is one of the reasons why it's really hard to say exactly what strains are found in kombucha, because different batches, let alone brands, will contain different bacteria, which will all have different benefits. To date, there have not been enough studies to confirm whether kombucha does contain adequate amounts of probiotics to be considered an effective source. So, if you want the benefits of probiotics, you're probably better getting them from a different food, like live yogurt, or yogurt if you're that way inclined, or kefir, or taking a supplement. Kombucha made from green tea may contain the same plant compounds and hence potential benefits as green tea. However, studies are inconclusive as to how the fermentation process affects these compounds. Kombucha does contain added sugar, which I know is almost a cardinal sin these days. And before I explain the purpose of the sugar in kombucha, I really want to highlight that there is no one food or food group that is inherently bad. White or refined sugar gets a bad rep, and we commonly see claims that honey or maple syrup and other natural sugars are better, but the reality is that these are all considered free sugars and are treated quite similarly by the body. Sugar plays an important role in kombucha because sugar is needed to feed the SCOBY, and this is what ferments the kombucha and creates carbon dioxide, which is what gives the kombucha its fizz. By the time the kombucha is made, there is usually only a small amount of sugar left in the product. More might be added along with different flavourings, but typically kombucha is considered a lower sugar drink. So we can probably say that the jury is undecided on the benefits of kombucha. A recent review of over 300 studies found that only one study had empirical evidence to suggest that kombucha may be beneficial in human subjects. Most studies within this area are on animals and cannot simply be applied to humans, so it's important that more research is conducted in human clinical trials to confirm some of the claims associated with kombucha. The bottom line is, if you enjoy the taste of kombucha, include it in your diet, but be assured that you're not missing out on much if you don't. As always, if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below and make sure to hit like and subscribe for more great evidence-based nutrition information.